بسم الله الرحمن الرحيم.
My dear respected brothers and sisters, like I said to you before, the whole point of this khutbah is that we want to unlock those locks that Allah has created. And they're very simple to unlock. And some of us will unlock them through a simple dua. Some of us will unlock them through some dhikr, minor dhikr. Some of us will maybe spend longer term of dhikr to unlock it. Some of us will have to just come to the masjid to unlock it. And there are people who found Allah and made a connection with Allah just by coming to the masjid. Some of us may have to just be more honest in our trade and business, and Allah will just give it to us. Some of us will have to leave a sin that will involve just sacrifice the sin, and Allah will give you that. Allah will give you the keys to unlock that. Some of us just have to improve our akhlaq and our character, and Allah will give it to us. Others will have to do something else that is maybe simple, like in the hadith it says that a woman who is a prostitute, she quenched the thirst of a dog, and that's it. She became a person of the heavens. Allah made her a person who would be given Jannah just for that one deed. So there are many ways. Now I'm going to give you two stories for you to reflect on as you go, because this khutbah is not because, I did mention Zakaria alayhi salam, but why I mentioned that is I don't want you to focus just on him. I want you to focus on Maryam. Why? Because she was the one who wasn't a prophet, and she was in the time of prophet, next to a prophet, but she got that unlocked for herself before he got what he wanted. And I want you to focus on Khidr, who's a man, Allah just gave it to him, so you have hope that Allah can just give it to you. And I want you to focus on the other individual like Isa bin Maryam. From birth, Allah just gave it to him. He made him speak from the cradle. But I want you to also understand, don't feel hopeless when Allah doesn't give it to you. For you have Ibrahim alayhi salam, who spent many years of sacrifice until Allah made him his chosen one. Many years he had to sacrifice his parents, his father, sacrifice his community, sacrifice his homeland. He went to Makkah, he had to sacrifice his wife and child there. The whole birth of Zamzam came from there. He spent many years until Allah said in the Holy Quran, وَإِذِ ابْتَلَى إِبْرَاهِيمَ رَبُّهُ بِكَلِمَاتٍ فَأَتَمَّهُنْ قَالَ إِنِّي جَاعِلُكَ لِلنَّاسِ إِمَامًا. Allah said when Ibrahim alayhi salam he was tested, many times tested, and then he completed his tests. And then Allah said, I am now going to choose you to become the leader of the entire world. Allah gave it to him at that time. So some of us will have to do this. So please, don't think you might get it easy, but have hope in you that Allah might just give it to you like that. We just need to stay there with Allah. Just remain faithful. Do what we have to do. Simple things Allah has told us to do. And I'm going to give you two stories. One story is from a hadith in Tirmidhi, where the Prophet ﷺ tells us about a man from Banu Israel, from the days before. His name was Kifl, and he was blessed with a lot of money. And some people, when they're blessed with money, alhamdulillah, they can go in a good way, but some people, when they're blessed with money, they can go in a really bad way. Kifl went towards a very bad pathway. Kifl, with his money, he had a very big desire for women. So every night, Kifl would use his money to hire a woman from the brothels, hire a woman from the industry of women working and selling their bodies. And Kifl would have a new woman every night at his pleasure. He had the monies to give, and he used to pay not small price. He didn't used to pay the small price, no. He used to pay the most expensive woman that you can get in the marketplace. He would pay that. And one night he had 60,000 dirhams ready. Of the equivalent of that 60,000 dirhams, this was a very high price for a very beautiful woman. And he wouldn't even choose sometimes the one that was used by others. He would choose the newly ones. He had always his eyes on the ones that were fresh, straight came in. So a woman came into his household. He had the 60 with him, and she laid herself in front of him, and then she started crying. This is in the hadith of the Prophet ﷺ. She started crying. And Kifl looked at her and said, why are you crying? Right at the moment when you're supposed to complete, you're crying. And she cried and she said, oh so-and-so, I would never be here today. I've been forced to come here because of my poverty, and I can't make ends meet. And I was so desperate that I went to them, and they found me as a new person who's never done this ever in my life, and I would never do it. And out of desperate situation, I came to them, and they just took me straight away and put me in front of you. But I don't want to do this because I have the fear of Allah. And the fear of Allah is making me cry, because what am I doing? What am I doing right now? Because of poverty, I've laid myself in front of a man. And Kifl heard this. First time in his life, a woman of this kind has come in front of him, and he had mercy on her. And he said, he took the 60,000 and he put it in front of her and said to her, take it. Don't even do the act. Take it. You're free to go. And he let her go. And he said to her, Wallahi, he said, from this night onwards, Kifl will make tawbah to Allah. You as a woman have so much fear because you've come out of poverty, and I've got the monies, you've got no money, and you're fearing, and I've got all the monies, I have got no fear of Allah. So it hit him so deeply, struck him so deeply, he said, you go, take the 60,000, don't do the act, and from tonight, Kifl will make a tawbah to Allah. So he made a tawbah to Allah, said, oh Allah, never in my life again. After seeing that, what the woman has said to him, never again in my life again will I do this act. And he did tawbah, and guess what happened? He died that night. He died that night. And this is a hadith of Tirmidhi. He died that night. And people came next day to Kifl's house, and they were all stunned. They were completely stunned at what they saw in front of his house. The whole town came to his house. Why? Because Allah Azza wa Jal, according to the hadith of the Prophet Sallallahu Alaihi Wasallam, Allah Azza wa Jal had written on the door of Kifl, this was written, Allah has forgiven Kifl. Allah has forgiven Kifl. Allahu Akbar. My friends, a man left a sin. He left a sin. He had the money, he had everything, and he left it for Allah's sake. And Allah gave him the key. And Allah made him a person of Jannah. And I'm going to tell you a second story. And this is from a common man. You think this man left his sin and Allah gave it to him. I want to give you a second one. And this one, I've been told about this in Medina Munawwara. Last year I went for Umrah. And there's a Shaykh Hasan there who's there right now. You can visit him, see him. A young scholar, and he's Shaykh of his in Medina Munawwara in the masjid. He gets taught by a Shaykh over there. And his Shaykh told him this story. This is a real story. I'm related to you, and I have no doubt to believe in this because both him and his Shaykh are people I trust. Last year I had this story. Shaykh Hasan said to us that, in Medina Munawwara, when you go there, you have many of these cleaners. And most of the cleaners are Bengalis, the Bangladeshis. And most of these Bangladeshis, me and you know, they're very poor. And they live in outskirts of Medina in tin roofs. They're like sardine canned in there. And they get very little pay. And they alhamdulillah, they wash the haram and they clean the haram. And the Bengalis over there, unfortunately, they do get treated like proper third or fourth class, as in these are our street cleaners, these are our dirt pickers, and I'm not putting anyone down, I'm a Bengali myself, but we know the situation over there. Now what happened is, when you look at these Bengalis, sometimes you want to help them. We help them, we give them riyals whenever you can. I've seen many people give it. And what his Shaykh Hasan Shaykh, said to them this story in Masjid al-Nabawi, in the masjid. He said, I want to tell you a true story. He said, these Bengali workers here, what do you think of them? They said, well, they're just, poor people, they don't have anything. He said, I'll tell you a story. He said, one of these Bengali workers, he said, I saw him every day. He was working right in the Roda. The Roda where the Prophet ﷺ grave is, the red carpet that's there, and then the special green carpet that you get, the Roda of the Prophet ﷺ. He said he was working there, and he used to clean that every night. And he said, I used to watch him, he used to clean it. And when everybody's gone, the sheikhs can stay there, they can do the dhikr tilawa. So he used to see this one Bengali one, really cleaning it nicely. So one day the sheikh felt sorry and he called the Bengali worker over. He said, can I do something for you? And the Bengali worker said, no, I'm fine, I don't need anything. The sheikh then called him another time and said, can I do something for you? He said, no, I'm okay, I don't need it. So he sought him for days and days and days, and the sheikh felt really bad that this person is giving so much service for the Prophet ﷺ masjid and for the Roda. He wants to do something, what can he do? So I'll call the Bengali worker over again. He said, look, if you don't want money from me, I can at least teach you the Quran. And the Bengali worker said, I don't need to be taught the Quran because I can read the Quran. So the sheikh said, okay, read. And the Bengali worker read in such a way with such high tajweed, with such a beautiful voice, with imperfect recitation, which was the level of the highest of sheikhs. And the sheikh was shocked. And he said, where did you learn that from? He said, Sheikh, he said, when I came to this country in Saudi Arabia, he said, I did not know how to read the Quran. And I used to clean the road of the Prophet ﷺ, and I used to turn to Allah, oh Allah, oh Allah, I don't know how to read the Quran. And I don't know where to go to read the Quran. And I want you to teach me the Quran, but I don't know where to go, what to do. And he used to clean it every day. He said, every night I cried to Allah in the road. Every night I cried to Allah. Allah, I want to learn how to read the Quran. You teach me. I'm a worker. I'm here. I don't know where to go, who to turn to. You know what happened? He said, Sheikh, one night in my dream, I saw the Prophet ﷺ. And the Prophet ﷺ, in that one dream, in the one night, he taught me how to read the entire Quran. And the recitation I have is directly from the Prophet ﷺ. And the recitation I've read to you, and the way I've read to you is directly, I'm a student of the Prophet ﷺ. Allahu Akbar, Allahu Akbar. Now what I want to say to you, my friends, that sheikh sitting there was astonished. He's a sheikh in the haram, he's teaching there. And he hasn't got so close to Allah than this one Bengali worker who's going around who people don't even give any credit to. And he related to Shaykh Hasan, Shaykh Rasim related to us. You know what this tells me? Any one of us here is just at the mercy of Allah that these keys will be given to us. We just need to turn to Him. We just need to turn to Him and carry on asking. And Allah Azza wa Jal will open the doors for us. Allah says in the Holy Quran, وَالَّذِينَ جَاهَدُوا فِينَا لَنَهْدِيَنَّهُمْ سُبُلَنَا. Whoever will make effort to find me, I will open all my pathways to them. Whoever makes effort, jahadu fina, to find me, to get to me, I will open all my pathways to them. Kifl was forgiven for giving up a woman and giving up his money in that way. He let go of sin. And this man in the haram, he got close to Allah by crying to Allah every night, and Allah gave him direct. You know how jealous I am of this man. I wish I could meet this man. How jealous I am. How did he get so close that he got directly taught by the Prophet ﷺ the Quran? Subhanallah.
Drink to the thirsty, وَيَرْحَمُ الْمُصَابَ, and He shows mercy to the wounded and the needy. فَذَلِكَ الَّذِي يُضِيءُ نُورُهُ السَّمَاءَ كَالشَّمْسِ. This is the one whose light will fill the heavens, just like will fill the universe.